Good morning, everybody. Big jackpot on this Tuesday morning. Good morning to you, Tiff.
Good morning. I was bummed I didn't win it on Saturday. I did get a Powerball, so I think you win like $3 or $4 with that.
So it gives you enough to buy a couple more tickets?
Yeah, so I'm in for tonight. Tonight's the big one. It's like, what, 850 million for the Mega Millions?
Yeah, so maybe it's good you didn't win this past weekend, so now you get a little more cash in your pocket.
It's like paying it forward.
To share with your
to myself.
Friend. Yes, second highest, right, jackpot of all time, like in the game's history.
That's right. It's going to be a big one. I feel like I'm lucky, so watch out, everybody. I'm going to go buy up all those tickets.
Okay, there you go. Just make sure you share. Yeah. Remember what you learned when you were a toddler.
There we go. Yes. Remember the little people.
Yeah. Mama O taught you to share.
It is true. So people noticed that we swapped early, and I just wanted to point out that even though I said I would accept letters until Friday this week because I was supposed to be in studio, we had to swap because I got a little cold. And obviously, anytime you have a cold these days, you got to go get a test and make sure that you're not around people.
Right. I've had a number of people, because people knew that you had COVID. That was in the fall, right? Like September?
It was in September.
Yeah.
Yep, mid-September.
People ask me how you're doing. I think a lot of people have appreciated that you shared that.
Yeah, and I'm open to sharing anything because I think it's important for people to know individual experiences because everybody's very different. I'm hoping it's not that again. It feels like a cold, but you just don't know these days. I mean, I wear a mask everywhere, so I don't really see anyone, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And that's kind of the joke is like colds are down this year because we're wearing masks and we're social distancing. So
and we're using hand sanitizer. Yeah.
Absolutely. Washing our hands for 20 seconds, doing all the right things. So I don't know. Who knows if it's a change of season? Can you catch a cold just from being outside? Is that a thing or is that an old wives' tale?
That's an old wives' tale. You cannot just catch a cold from being cold or being outside. Now, if there are germs outside, you could get a cold being outside, but that is not true. That being cold can make you catch a cold. But yeah, I know people can get COVID more than once. I've had a friend who tested positive and then about 4 months later tested positive again. So we got to be careful. And it makes me think about people who live a long time because you brought up Betty White recently.
Yeah.
And the fact that she turned 99, which is unbelievable.
I know. It got us kind of thinking about everybody. I just wanted to say I'm still accepting letters, by the way. I'll still write back and I will get back to them, just so you know. But yes, Betty White. So, okay, there were a few things, by the way, I didn't share about her that I thought are so fun. A lot of people have heard them before, but I just think they're her keys to a long life that were kind of fun because she jokes that her diet is mainly hot dogs, fries, and vodka,
That's my girl.
But everybody knows she's a big animal lover. And one of the things she says is she's a dog owner. She has a golden retriever. And I thought you'd love that since you're a dog owner now, is, having animals around, especially if you're living solo, really can change the atmosphere of your space.
And your attitude. I mean, we have a fairly rambunctious dog. I mean, we showed the picture of him shaking his booty the other day on TV. But, it's giving my kids something to do. We're in training with him, and we have to walk him. You have to feed him. There's responsibility. There's so much that's gone with having a dog that's been good for all of us. And me, I walk him every day before work. So I get up earlier. Yeah. I'm outside every day, which is good for my mood and balance and all that stuff. So I think it's great.
Yeah.
And it made me think of my grandma because of Betty White. She lived to be 103. In fact, I have several grandmothers and great-grandmothers who lived past the age of 100. And my grandma, who was 103, was a nurse. Her name was Gladys, and she used to shower and do the laundry in her basement until right before she died. Her bed was on the second floor, so she did stairs all the time. But I asked my mom what she thought was the key to her long life. It's my dad's mom, and she said she had a strong sense of nutrition because she was a nurse. Mm-hmm. She had a strong sense of hard work, and she said it kind of followed her whole life. She also had a healthy way of dealing with stress, which I think is fascinating.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I think there's a lot of keys to old life, and I think everybody's sort of got one, which I loved what we shared the other week, too.
Yeah, she wasn't a vodka drinker, but, Betty White had that going for her. But real quick, Tiff, because we ran out of time, what time do you think it's okay to call someone in the morning? How early can you call someone?
I mean, honestly, I think it's appropriate. I think 7 or 8 o'clock in that time. I think probably 8 o'clock is probably considered appropriate.
Studies say 8 o'clock, Tiff.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's because most people think of like an 8 to 9. Like that's when, people are kind of working, I guess. So,
yeah. And some people said, well, it depends why you're calling, like if it's an emergency or how close you are. But just in general, people say 8 o'clock in the morning. So we put it on Facebook and we're asking you, what time is it okay to call someone in the morning? Probably depends on when you get up, too. But we want to know. Yeah, exactly. All right.